Don't do it, Tash. Don't make a pun. It's a low-hanging fruit. We're on a roll. Hi everyone, it's Tash and welcome to another recipe video. And today, because apparently I can't stop making them at the moment, we're making another roll cake. Yes, I know I made a roll cake last week too, but this week it's going to be a Sakura roll cake. We've got a little bit more spring left. Actually, we've got a lot of spring left. But it is coming to the end of Sakura season as all the blossoms are falling. Global warming depending, probably already all fallen by now. But I'm going to squeeze just one more Sakura recipe in. Now if you remember, a couple of recipe videos ago I made Sakura ice cream using Sakura puree. And yes, I will put the link to the shop that I buy all my Sakura supplies from down below. Not an advert, not an affiliate link, etc, etc. And I have rather a lot of it left, so before I portion it up and put it in the freezer probably for next year, I thought what else can I make with it? And since I was still in a bit of a roll cake mood, I do enjoy making them, I thought Sakura roll cake. I've made one before on my blog tashcakes.com way back in 2017. It was a strawberry Sakura roll cake. But at the time, the only thing I had to flavour the sponge was Sakura Sencha tea, which is a blend of Sencha green tea and a few cherry blossom petals. And I managed to get some Sakura bean paste as well. But that was all I could buy at the time. This time, with the website I use, anything from Japan.com, I can get a whole load of stuff. So I could get the bean paste, I could get the Sakura puree. I also really like using the sprinkles. They're called crunchy. My brain malfunctioned for a minute. Crunchy Sakura flakes, which are basically freeze-dried Sakura puree that have been sweetened with a bit of sugar. They're really nice natural sprinkles. And I found a new thing there as well on top of the Sakura puree, which I'd never seen before. Whole dried edible Sakura flowers. Cherry blossom heaven. So, of course, I bought it all, and I'm going to use all of these to make this cake today. So apart from, granted, the slightly specialist ingredients, the actual making of the cake is very simple in itself. So with all that said, let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. First, let's preheat the oven to 180 degrees C. Next, we're going to separate 4 eggs. I'm going to get rid of the yolks for a second, and I'm going to whip the egg whites up until they form stiff white peaks. Now that these are suitably fluffed up, I'm going to add 20 grams of caster sugar. This whole bowl is 40, so I'm going to add a half, and that's going to add up to 20. And we're going to whisk it until it's glossy. And that is our meringue mixture. Now let's go to the egg yolks. As you can see, I didn't separate them that well. One of the egg yolks broke and I left a little bit of egg white in, but it doesn't matter, it was just a small amount. So we're going to add the rest of that sugar, that's another 20 grams. And I'm also going to add 25 grams of Sakura puree. I used this in my previous video, that was my cherry blossom, my Sakura ice cream video, so you can learn more about it over there. And I'll also pop a link down below to where you can buy it online. International shipping, and no, this is not an ad. I'm going to give this a quick whiz up. Now there's already plenty of natural colour from that cherry blossom puree, but I want it to be a little bit more lurid pink, so I'm going to add a little bit of food colouring. Just a couple of drops of pink. There we go, don't want too much. And let's give that a whiz. There we go, nice. Oh, I can smell the cherry blossom now. Now I'm going to add 40 grams of self-raising flour and 30 grams of corn flour. Let's give these a whiz in too. Excellent. Now we're going to bring back our egg whites. I'm going to take a chunk, no more than a third, of our egg white. I'm going to use it to loosen this up, our egg yolk mixture, so I can be quite rough at this stage. I am folding it, but I'm not taking that much care to keep the air in this case. I am a bit, but not as much as I will in a minute. And now I'm going to scrape all of this back into our egg white bowl, and now I'm going to be very careful when I fold it in because we want to keep as much air as possible. But now I'm just going to gently fold everything together. Use big scooping motions. In a minute I'm going to change to a spatula, but I find getting the initial folding bit done with a balloon whisk a bit faster because you can gently tap it against the bowl and then it just falls through the spokes, and that helps cut up the egg white a bit without cutting the air bubbles. Now this is already pretty good. I'm going to give it, like I said, a few more passes with a spatula, just using big scooping and cutting motions. And now we're going to put it in our tin. Here I have a 26 by 36 centimetre tin, which I have greased around the sides and lined with non-stick baking paper. And I'm going to pour this straight in, scraping down the sides, getting every last bit, and all the while being careful not to flatten our air bubbles. I'm going to give it a few good raps on the counter to get rid of any big air bubbles in there. And now I'm going to bake it for about 15 minutes, 15 to 20, but probably on the lower side, 15. Aha, we are done. It's been 15 minutes. Looks a bit lumpy and bumpy, but that is not a problem, I promise you. Now we're going to take a knife and gently run it around the edges to loosen the cake up from the sides of the pan a bit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it upside down onto a cooling rack. Be very careful because it's still hot. Get one hand in your glove underneath. Oops, flip it over. That was a bit tricky to do with the camera in the way. And now we're going to leave it to cool down completely before going ahead with the next decorating steps. Now the cake would have come out of the tin if you've loosened it up enough. That will help flatten down the edge, but even that doesn't really matter because we're not actually using that top side as our finishing side. We're going to use that as the inside, and the flat end that was like touching this base of the tin here, that's going to be our outside, and that's going to be very smooth and even, so it doesn't matter. Now that our cake is cooled, we're going to prepare the filling. Here I have 300 milliliters of double cream. You can use whipping cream, by the way, if you want a lighter texture. I swap between the two when I make roll cakes. I want a bit of a firmer texture though, so double cream it is. And we're going to whisk this up until it is spreadable. There we go, we have a nice stiff but not too stiff cream. And we're also going to use 150 grams of Sakura, and this is sweet white bean paste that's been cooked with pureed cherry blossoms and pickled cherry blossom leaves. I bought it from the same website that I got the Sakura puree, so I'll put a link down below to that too. And I bought this a few times, and it depends on the batch. If it is solid, then I can roll it up like a sausage, almost like Play-Doh, and use it as a filling. This batch is a bit softer, so it's had less of the water cooked out of it. That's not a problem though. I'm just going to stick this in a piping bag, snip the tip off, and I'm going to pipe the filling on instead of roll it up, so not a problem. Now it's time for the cake reveal. Now let's peel it off. And the reason why we kept the tin on, oh lovely by the way, was to keep it moist. Now let's move her onto some baking paper we've prepared. I'm going to place her pretty side down, lumpy side up. Let's pop it right in the middle there. And I'm going to trim both ends at an angle, so not straight down, at an angle, so we have a slope. Probably about an inch, 2 centimeters off of each. Now we're going to take our cream and we're going to dollop it on and spread it around. We're also going to make the cream very thin around here because we don't want it squishing out. Now we're going to pipe on our red bean paste, which I've cut quite a wide hole here because I want it to extrude a sort of sausage shape. I'm going to do it here. If you haven't got it all out, just add a little bit on top. So it turns out that all of that didn't film. It didn't film me rolling up the cake. If you want to reference how to do it, check out my last video because I made the Black Forest Swiss roll and I did it in the exact same way. All you do is you roll up the cake by itself on the paper, but not in the paper just yet. And then you slide the roll towards this way as you're rolling it up. Then you roll it tightly within the paper itself and you twist the ends tightly like a Christmas cracker. I'm so sorry that didn't film, but yes, if you want to see how to do it visually, check out my last video. So what we've done now is we've made sure the seam of the cake is on the bottom, and we're going to pop this in the fridge to chill for at least 4 hours, preferably overnight, for the cream to set. It's time for our moment of truth. Let's unwrap the cake. Let's pop it on our serving plate. Seam side down, of course. At this stage you can trim the ends to be neater if you want, but I'm not serving this in the restaurant so I don't particularly mind. And I'm going to divide this into 6 pieces. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to score ever so lightly, because I'm going to pipe some cream on in a minute, where I want the portions to go. So that's half, and then these 2 into thirds. We're not going to see these, by the way, so it doesn't matter. Now here I have 150 millilitres more double cream which I've whipped up, and I'm just going to pipe swirls to mark the segments. And here I've got some sweet Sakura crunch flakes which I bought from the same place. And to top them off, these edible dried Sakura flowers, again from the same place. And now, arguably the best part, I'm going to cut myself a slice. Amazing. Oh my goodness, look at how pretty this cake is. It is absolutely gorgeous, fabulous. Right, I'm going to do a thumbnail and then I am going to slice open this bad boy. Ah, how gorgeous is this? Wow, I nearly lost the cake. Here's a close-up. Wow, so nice. Right, I'm going to go do the slow-mo now. And this is why I did the thumbnail first. Right, let's take a bite. I'm going to make sure I get some Sakura and some of the Sakura bean paste, some cake and some cream. Oh, it's so spongy. Cheers. Like eating a spring day. It's quite a bit more subtle than the ice cream, which has more of a strong flavour, but it is very delicate, as a roll cake should be. I wonder what the dried flower tastes like. I mean, obviously it's going to taste of pickled cherry blossom. It's probably not as strong as the dried pickled ones, which are a little bit damp, that are usually rinsed off before making tea with. I've never had just like a dried one before. Let's try it out. Salty. I'm going to have a bite of cake to go with that. Oh, that's much better. I should have taken a bite of it together with the cake and cream, and it would balance the salt out. Actually, that's a really nice combination. Obviously it was going to be salty. I don't know what I expected. It is after all a dried pickled cherry blossom. Nope, it's still quite salty, but very delicious, especially when mixed with the cake. And the cake itself and the Sakura bean paste aren't salty at all. You might get hints of it from the bean paste because there's a little more concentrated cherry blossom and cherry leaf that have been mixed in there. Both are pickled as well, by the way, but it's far gentler, more like a really mild salted caramel. So there you go, Sakura roll cake. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe video, and I hope you will join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full written recipe on my blog tashcakes.com, follow me on Instagram, I'm tashcakes.tastes, and find me on TikTok too. I'm tashcakes there too, but my handle is food in slow motion. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more. Give this video a like if you like it to help other people find it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular, and I will see you all next time. Be good, be nice, and have a good week. Okay, I will make something that's not a roll cake next time.